the lionesses costumes are not made according to each actress. They're made. They're like, I hope you can fit in that costume, and I hope it doesn't hurt your back, right? When it first opened, they had to shave 5 pounds off the headdresses, the grass that you see across the show. So of course we're like, this is beautiful. But the truth behind it is people lost their livelihoods with that show, and it makes the most money on Broadway and off Broadway. So the thing is that this type of, for me, like having this connection across, so being a teachers union, being an actors union, being on the stage union, being a TV film union, things change. You used to get a residual check every time your show came out. Mm-hmm. Now if you have a show, like I just did Nurse Jackie, now we have a 10-for-1 contract. What's that mean? That means the show can show 10 times before you get any additional money from what you got the first time. Now working actors like myself who are not famous, we make our money and pay our rent from residuals, from the money you make in between, right? Now they're saying that it has to air. It gets to air 10 full times before you get any sort of residual payment.
So you work for free the first 9 times?
Well, you work for that. They pay you up front. Oh. And they give you, don't get me wrong, it's a substantial amount of money, but when you put it all together, it's nothing compared to when I did Barbershop 2 back in 2003, when I was getting checks every week. Like it was when it was in the movie theater, you get a check. When it was on DVD, you get a check. It was like check, 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 check. I was like, Merry Christmas! I can pay all my bills this year. Then all of a sudden I saw the laws, like I saw the rules change, like over the last 10 years, like between the type of money, the base pay that you got in 2003 was only $100 increase between 2003 and 2009, when it should be more than that. Because you are the consumers, it's more than that. There's lots and lots of TV. There's like 51 episodics filmed in New York right now. So it's lots of times to make those opportunities. So for me, it's about, this has always been there, but the question is, now I feel like the peasants are getting angry. And the peasants' eyes are open. And they don't expect our eyes to be open. The fact that Bernie is making any headway, the fact that he did what he did in Michigan has a lot to do with what's happening in Michigan. Mm-hmm. Like I've done shows in Michigan. I've done shows in Auburn Hills, right outside Detroit. So Auburn Hills is the suburbs. When you drive 30 minutes that way, you're in Detroit. And basically, there's parts of Detroit that are beautiful. There's parts of Detroit that are completely abandoned. They were giving houses to artists, actually, in Detroit to revigorate the economy. They have huge concrete walls in Flint, Michigan. Like, we can talk about the water, but there's concrete walls, like in neighborhoods. Like it looks like a camp, like a camp that you went to war in. Like, they built walls up in whole neighborhoods. The whole airport in Flint, Michigan, I flew out of there. My flight left at 5 p.m. And I saw all the Homeland Security, all the TSA workers went home. I said, is the airport closing? Is that it? And they're like, oh yeah, we close at 5 p.m. Wow. And only 2 people work there. So it's no economy.
I want to say something about the schools, the decline of the schools since the 60s. I read this quote several years ago that somebody said that the public school system is like an island of socialism and a sea of capitalism. And I don't know the original person that said that, but it was Milton Friedman, that economist, like the trickle down, and you give it all to the top, it's eventually, well, he took that and ran with it, and it was applied to public schools and a lot of public services. They just went after them as it's a cash cow that has been untapped. And I grew up in Michigan, on the western side of Michigan, in wasn't a particularly poor school district, but it was small, and you didn't have the economy of size. So, we had Spanish and Latin, 2 years of each. And they finally got 2 years of French. But, kids in the city was a place to go to school, like Chicago and Detroit. Fantastic school systems at those times. You had all kinds of languages to take, music lessons. I worked with a woman who graduated from Overbrook in '72. She learned to play the organ at school. She spoke Spanish and read Spanish by the time she graduated because she had it every year from middle school on. And it was, she had courses that I couldn't dream of taking. And I went off to University of Michigan, and there were all these kids from like Grosse Pointe, which is like the, you know, where the Fords live and the old state is and all that kind of stuff. And, I mean, I didn't, you know, I had like a thimble full of knowledge compared to those kids. And, they're, you know, they could do it then, they could do it now.
Good. Any question? Comments once again. Dr. Sue, our good friend.
Hi,
Good to
thank
see
you.
you.
So actually, Ben asked my question, but I'm gonna ask a different one, because I went to a debate last night between the congressional candidates for the second congressional district. Chuck Todd, Dwight Evans, Brian Gordon, and Dan Gill. And one of the questions that wasn't really fully answered, since you guys are all lawyers, you may have better memories about this, is whether one of the candidates actually tried to privatize the Philadelphia school system by turning it over to Edison. And if that's true, that sort of makes at least one person out of my mind. So is that, so tell me what you guys know about that.
It was,
He's the one who also spearheaded the 2001
yeah, no, well, it was the same thing. He and John Purcell, at least he went to jail.
Yeah.
Were the architects of the state takeover in 1996. And, you know, I don't know how to explain this relationship, but Dwight's son basically has his own charter organization that, foundations.
Foundation.
You know, and he had a number of charter schools in West Oak Lane. So, yeah, and at one point, you know, there was a big PFT supporter, but he and Purcell were the architects of the state takeover. And again, you know, looking back, we see now that these state takeovers were the vehicle to make these school districts, which were places of learning and democracy, and opportunities for women and people of color into a big giant marketplace. I mean, that was really the idea, you know, as Maura said, somebody had this idea a long time ago. And when you look at the history of it, you know, 20, 25 years ago, this thought took hold that, oh my, you know, like, what have we been doing? There's this giant entity out there that we're not exploiting, you know. Let's get to it. And what you're seeing now is, and I forgot to mention that I have op-eds in the Daily News, and we've talked about this, and we've had it on our website, and I've written about this repositioning of urban schools as charities. And you hear it over and over and over again, you know, like the word partnership. You know, like every time we hear it, it just drives us nuts. So you have this idea that the children in our school district, you know, should have their tin cup out, and if they deserve, you know, if they deserve to get this, and if somebody, out of the goodness of their heart, whether it's, you know, a sports person or Comcast, you know, or the foundation, William Penn Foundation, or, you know, if you know, and if they're lucky, you know, maybe some volunteers will come by and help. That's the mindset that's taking hold, and even, I mean, this has really become pervasive, this mentality that the schools should become charities, and that these corporate foundations should decide how the money is spent, how much money the schools get. And